Hello, everyone. My name is Kelley Kohout, and I work for Honeybee Stamps, and we're so glad to be joining you guys for this partner celebration. Make sure you check out all the information on the Scrapbook and Cards Today blog. I know there's a blog post there, and there's lots of giveaways going on, and I know that there's a giveaway that you can answer or join, try to win. And make sure that you go and check out that blog post and then leave a comment to be entered to win. And I think until Sunday night to do that. But I know all the information is there on the blog. Hello, everyone. Hey, Mindy. There's a lot of my friends over there that I recognize. Hello, Becky and Margaret and Linda. Welcome everyone in. Thanks for catching us live. And then I know that the replay will be up later on. And so welcome to all of you that will catch the replay later on. The first thing that I want to share with you is we just on Friday released our Heartfelt Harvest Release. That's a mouthful for me. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my desk, and then I am going to be creating a card today with some of our new dies from that release. But I wanted to share some little teaser cards and some samples that I created for our release. So if I go down here to my desk, let's move my glue out of the way. First off, I have the Lovely Layers Quail dies. All of our Lovely Layers birds have been really popular. I know that in Crop and Create, the last one, some of you may be familiar with our Lovely Layers owl, where our newest set of birds is the quail. And what's so cool about these dies is you can either make both of them nesting and kind of laying down, or you can have them standing. And so this is our Lovely Layers quail. We have our farm fence and our fall bounty here that is so cool with the pumpkins and gourds. And we even have a layering bale of hay that is part of the farm cart die set. And you can see I've used some of the same pumpkins and nestled those into that bale of hay on the little farm cart here. And also on these cards, you're going to start noticing and seeing some of our new pattern paper as well. Then we have Bountiful Banners, which is a really fun, just great floral that you can use all year long, depending on how you choose to either color that or ink that up with the coordinating stencils. So you can get lots of use out of Bountiful Banners. Everything's a tongue twister for me today. And then we have our Lovely Layers Dianthus dies. And if I tilt this up, you can see the dimension in these cute little Dianthus blossoms, the stem. And again, you're going to see some of our beautiful pattern paper. Some of you may recognize our apple barrel dies. We shared these dies with Scrapbook and Cards Today for their Let's Stamp Together kit back in July was the kit. It's already been the July kit. But the apple barrel, the cute little apples, here's a different take with the apples to make, a little teacher card or a little I love you card. And then we've also got some really cool layering stencils. Again, this is called Autumn Delight. But this is another one that we created to have a more whimsical look in the flowers. That way they weren't necessarily for fall. They could be used for holiday cards or for in the springtime for summer cards or birthday cards. And so that just gives you a little look at some of the samples that I created. And now I'm going to show you what I am working with today. So I've got my little pile of goodies here. And first off, I'm going to be choosing a sentiment out of this sentiment set that is called Heartfelt Hello. And if I kind of tilt the little packaging that I have for my stamps here up, we can get a better look at all those really cool sentiments. I think my favorite one in this whole set is, of course, the Heartfelt Hello, but I love this. Oh my gourd, it's your birthday. I love that with a little, if you have a fall birthday in your family or something like that. But lots of great sentiments in there. The coordinating dies, of course. And then this is our fancy fall layering frames. frames. I'm going to be using these today to layer some pattern paper and solid colored cardstock onto my card. And not only do these cut a really beautiful shape, but they also press all that great detail into your paper. So that is the fancy fall layering frames. We have our little layering wood vase. This is part of our Lovely Layers collection as well. What is so cool about this is you can create a vase, which I'm going to do today because this right here will cut and allow you to slip florals inside, but it also has a little cap that you can place on the end, and it can be a resting place for your Lovely Layers birds, or it can be a little spot to put some of our new Lovely Layers mushrooms, which I'm also going to ink up today. So the wood vase. Here are those cute little mushrooms, layering mushrooms. This is part of our Lovely Layers collection as well. And there are 3 little sets in here. They all layer together. Again, you're going to notice in all of these dies, all of that great embossing detail that is going to press into your paper when you die cut things. Okay, we have our fall bouquet. Again, this is another Lovely Layers set. Everything from wheat stalks to a stem of cotton, just some great basic leaves, some little fall blossoms. And then I love in the fall, especially, you see a lot of these little kind of orange and yellow little pom-pom flowers. I'm not for sure what those are called, but I love those in fall bouquets. And this one is called Fall Bouquet. And then let's take a look at our pattern paper. Now this top paper pad is what I'm pulling my pattern paper out of today, but this gives you a look at all those beautiful rich fall colors. I'm going to be using this pattern right here. All of our new paper pads are 6 by 8.5. So you get a lot of bang for your buck with these paper pads because you're going to be able to slice the paper down the center and get 2 A2 cards, or you can do some kind of other big, larger project or a 5 by 7 card. So I am in love with the new size of our paper pads. Okay, and then we also have these really fancy new little pouches that hold our paper pads and the coordinating gems and pearls. So, okay. So without further ado here, I'm going to put up my little inky mat because we're going to get inky today. And I'm going to go through this just like I would if I was just creating a card in my craft room. The only thing different really is I get to enjoy chatting away with you guys as I get inky and craft. Here is that Lovely Layers wood vase. You'll notice the wood grain that is pressed into that. And then we have the little opening in the top. So you can slip all your little florals and things down in. But then if you flipped it over and put that little cap on the end, you could see how it would be cute with, you know, a bird sitting on top. You could have a little quail up there or even your Lovely Layers owl. So lots of different ways to use this either as a vessel for your flowers or for other things to kind of set a scene. Okay, so I'm going to get inky here. I'm going to start out with, I think I'm going to use my brush, and this is my walnut stain brush, which is a really nice, deep, rich, chocolatey brown. I always like to start with my dirty brush first because, you know, we can always, you know, dip into our ink pads and add things on, but we can't really take it away once it is on there. And I can already tell that my brush doesn't have enough ink in it. I want it a little bit juicier than that. So I'm going to ink that up and maybe give it a tap, tap, tap. And then I'm going to start way down here at the bottom to rich it up. And you're going to start to see some of those little wood grain things and all that detail kind of pop out as I ink blend here. And so we're kind of in the final week here of this partner celebration, and it's always fun to be able to do things and take part in the things that Scrapbooking Cards does, whether it's the Let's Stamp Together or Crop and Create, or goodness, this partner celebration. There's lots of things going on. I know Catherine and the team are super busy doing all kinds of fun things for all of us crafters. Okay, so I've got my little wood vase all ready to go. Let me give you a little look at my little die cuts I have here. In this little pile, this is the fall bouquet die cuts. You can see that some of it I have cut out of craft cardstock. The things that I wanted to be maybe brown or something like that, I used a scrap of brown cardstock. Some of it I'm starting just with white and we'll ink blend, and we're just going to get inky and have fun here. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. I have my little wood vase all done, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out my little cotton stem. And it looks a little silly right now. We've got like this almost little pitchfork thing going on here, but you know, once we get all these dies kind of inked up, put together, it's going to be spectacular in the end. And I'm just going to richen this up. It doesn't need to be perfect, especially down in this area, because we know that we're going to tuck that into our little wood base that we've already inked up. All right. Let's see here. Got that little guy done. I'm just going to make a cute little die cut pile over here. And then let's do, because I may use a little bit of brown. This is the wheat stalks, and they may be a little bit hard for you to see until I really get these inked up. There is detail pressed into those as well. And I'm going to start with, let's see here. I believe, let me look at my brushes here. This is, I think I want to use scattered straw and then maybe some antique linen. We're going to see. And I may even do a little bit, oh yeah, I like that. We may even do a little bit of like a gathered twigs to kind of deepen it up a little bit. Okay, so scattered straw. And then let's kind of richen that up a little bit. Let's do, this is my gathered twigs brush, and I think I'm going to go and I'm going to sweep it like this, and it's going to catch. Do you see how the ink is catching those little embossed details and just kind of richening that up a little bit, but it's not taking away all of the yellow color from the scattered straw. So again, I'm just going to sweep it down. We're going to see all those little wheat details pop out. And then now I think that that looks more like kind of a golden wheat now. A little more realistic than the really bright, vibrant yellow. Okay. So let's move these little wheat stalks out of the way. And then let's do some stems here. So I've got the little pom-pom stem and I've got the little blossom stem. I'm going to do both of these in a green, but you know what? I think it's time to give my mat, just a little bit of a wipe down. And that is, did you hear that squeal on there? That's just the damp cloth on the mat. That's what you call squeaky clean when it does that, right? Okay, so I'm going to let that air dry just a little bit. Okay, so let's put this guy down. That's going to have all those little blossoms on it. And then my little pom-pom stem. I need to learn, does anybody know what the name of that is that has the cute little pom-poms on the end of it? I know you know what I'm talking about. We see them in the fall on, you know, home decor bouquets and things like that. Okay, I'm going to start my ink blending with peeled paint. And this is a little bit more of an olivey kind of green. And because we're going to add the little colorful toppers onto these, I can go right over this with the green, and it's not going to be a big boo-boo when we get to the end. So peeled paint. And then let's do, I'm trying to decide, do I want to do this one a different color? No, we can do this one the same color. I'm going to go over this one with peeled paint. Let's make it easy peasy. And remember, I don't need to spend a whole lot of time on the end down here because that's going to go into our little vase. Okay. There we go. And then let's move these out of the way and put in our little finished pile. Okay, look, I'm going to try not to be so squeaky clean this time. All right, there we go. And then I have some little leaves. These are the little leaves that are in that set. And I'm going to do these a different color. That way we can kind of mix up and have a variation of the leaves in our bouquet. All right, so let's see here. I've got a ton of colors sitting out here. Let's use Rustic Wilderness. This is normally my go-to green for ink blending any kind of leaves. And I'm going to start with my dirty brush, and I'm going to work myself right up that stem and go back and forth. And I can kind of even give it a little bit of a darker. Do you see how it's darker? Because I really added the pressure right down the center of the stem. And then it kind of fades out as it goes up the tips of the leaves. Just like that. So I think that's going to be pretty mixed in with our fall bouquet. Let me gently pull that back and we'll lay it aside. And you can see all of our colors coming together here. Let's go with a dirty brush again. And I'm going to really add a lot of pressure right up that little stem. And then we'll kind of fade it out as we go up the leaves. There we go. Make sure I get everything colored nicely. And that's looking good. I like that. So I'm gently going to peel that one back. Very cute. Okay, now part of our bouquet are all the little heads to our little stems that we have. And so I'm going to start pulling those out. Now, some of these, like this is part of the cotton stem, and it's going to be hard to see for just a second. You can see some of the little embossed details in there, but because cotton stems or cotton balls, the bowls on the cotton are white, they may have a little bit of dinginess, so to speak, to them. So I'm going to take my scattered straw brush and I'm barely going to hit right around the bottom and right around the side. That's just going to make it stand out a little bit more from the stem, and it's not going to be so stark white when I add that on. It's going to have just a hair of color there. Okay, so I'm going to put my finished one right there. Here is another little cotton stem, and I can just barely hit the side, but you could use a crafty color brown. You could use your gathered twigs, anything like that, just to add a hair of shading to your little cotton. Okay, I'm going to lay all my little pieces out here. Get them all going. There we go. Okay, so these little gatherings here, and you're going to start to pick up that little embossed detail. Those are what goes on this stem that we're going to cover up all of our, it almost looks like broccoli up there, right? Until we cover it up. And then these over here are our little pom-poms that are going to go on this side. Okay, so for our little pom-poms, I think I want to do those in like a brighter yellow, I think. And so I'm going to pull out my fossilized amber, which is that kind of really pretty fall yellow, golden yellow. And I'm really going to saturate these and make them nice and bright. So they add that really nice pop of color to our bouquet. Now I'm going to put that in there with my cotton. There we go. Okay, now we've got these little blossoms here. And let's see what color here I want to add. You know what I think I'm going to do? I know this is an odd choice, but in the pattern paper that I'm using for the background, you see how pretty and kind of fall-like this is? And we kind of chatted about our papers, and we really kind of wanted that fall, rustic, homey, almost like old fabric or something like that, that feel. I think I'm going to pull out this kind of blushy pink, and I'm going to do some spun sugar little blossoms to go into our bouquet. Because, you know, if it starts to look a little funny, we can always ink it up again, right? We can go right over the top with an orange or something else. But I think it's going to pull out the pinky color in the cardstock. There we go. Let me get this little guy. He's trying to go rogue over here. There we go. All right, now before I get too far, because I'm a chatter, I'm a talker, I am going to take these fall bouquet stems, especially the ones that I've got little toppers for. I'm going to go ahead and glue those together, because knowing me, I'll knock one of these little blossoms off of my desk and then it will be lost somewhere. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive. Anytime you do really any kind of little layering florals, or especially our lovely layers stuff, liquid adhesive is going to be your bestest good friend. And that is because it's going to give you enough time, if you need to shimmy all of your layers and all of your little die cuts into place. I think that pink was a good choice. I think that's going to be really cute. And then all I have to do is kind of puzzle piece these little blossoms together and keep working my way around here. Let's see here, just like so. I can kind of hold it for a second and make sure that that liquid adhesive kind of does its job there before we move on. And this one is going to puzzle piece just like so. And here is this one. And this one. Just like that. And see, it does look like, oh, here it is. I didn't lose it. Look, it was in my dish and I thought it was a wall on my desk. So I'm going to give that a little bit of pink ink. I thought, oh dear, we've had a loss. We've had one jump ship on the desk. And my desk is so messy, just preparing for our release and preparing for this little get together. Okay, now I've got that one all done, super cute. I'm going to lay that aside. And then let's do our cute little pom-poms next. Like that. And then I can take my bright pop of yellow And then we're going to puzzle piece those. There we go. And puzzle piece this. Use my tweezers as an extra little finger in there. And I can even take my brush, and this is like a little bud. I'm going to take that yellow brush and I'm just going to just give it a hint of that yellow at the end. There, just like that. Okay, now our cotton. And I've got my little cotton pieces, and I think, I don't want to forget all my little mushrooms here in a minute. There's the other one. I knew I had another little piece of cotton, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to tilt my brush up and just kind of barely give it just a hint of shading right around the edges. You guys can probably hear the puppies in here today. They're my crafting buddies, I guess you could call it. Okay, now the little cotton stems are the only ones of the blossoms in this set that really get adhered to the back side of the stem. So I'm going to kind of lay this out here, and I know I want to add a little adhesive to these little guys, and I can kind of line that one up, and then line that one up. Do you see how it's starting to look like cotton now with the little stems and those little cotton bolls that snug up in there? And then there's another one, and really you could probably add it anywhere you wanted to. I'm going to, let's see here. Let me release my tweezers here. I'm going to be really careful and pick that up. And then I can add it. Let's add it over here. And it may not even show much with our little bouquet because we're going to use that cute little wood vase. But I'm going to adhere it kind of right over here. I'm going to let that glue attach. Okay, and now we've got a cute little cotton stem. Okay, looking good. Just taking inventory here. All right, let's work on mushrooms. These are going to be easy peasy. I'm going to look up at the chat here and see what all of you are chatting about. Okay. Hello, everyone. Yes, the pink and green. It turned out good, the pink and green did. Okay, so squeaky clean. Sorry about, that's almost like fingernails on a chalkboard, but squeaky clean, right? Okay, now let's lay out all these adorable little mushrooms, and I'm just going to kind of set out all of my layers here so I can get kind of a look at all my layers and kind of figure out what I want to ink, you know, what color. I know that guy's going to go there. This little topper is going to go on this little guy. Those, oh, and I don't want to forget that piece right there. Okay, so let me kind of move this just like so. Okay, now this is going to be the hard part. Well, it is for me. Let's see. Let's do, because they're so dang cute. Okay, I'm going to use forest moss, but you guys know that forest moss is very deep and rich. And so I'm going to get my brush a little inky, but I'm going to like barely kind of flick it from the side because I don't want to like oversaturate it. And I can pick up more and kind of shadow this in a little bit. And you're going to start seeing all those cute little mushroomy details just kind of pop out. See all these? Let me kind of go in here. Let me see if that helps. That's a little bit better. Okay, see all these little embossed details in there? Okay, so this is where I get excited about all this silly little stuff. Okay, forest moss, done. We're gonna mix it up here. Next, because these are so cute, I think I wanna do this little guy in a fired brick. His little topper, his little hat is gonna be fired brick because you know, you always think about mushrooms, and I don't know what it is about those little mushrooms that have the little red tops to them. But I'm going to make him have a little red top, and that is adorable. Let me put that back. And then let's do some green. This is my Rustic Wilderness brush, and I'm going to shade them all kind of from the same direction. So I'm going to flick this one the same direction. And if you're familiar with our Lovely Layers dies, you know that parts of these, you'll notice that this is the same mushroom, but this has a lot of that great detail in it, and this one does not. That's because this one right here is going to be our base layer. So all of this that doesn't have the embossing in it, that's not going to show. So that's one little tip with your Lovely Layers dies is most of them are going to, you know, if it has embossed detail on it, that is going to show. That embossed detail is going to show, right? This up here in the top, that's not going to show because that is not embossed. That's kind of how most of them work. And then let's see here. This is what I like to do. I like to layer it together and kind of eyeball it. And then we'll layer that over the top and we'll kind of eyeball it. And we can kind of look to see, are we liking the way that's looking? And I think that that looks pretty good. So I'm going to move on. Let's do something with this little top right here. I'm going to make him like a fall orangey color. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And now I'm going to use Crackling Campfire, which is that really rich orange. So let's ink that up. Super cute. And he's got little embossed details in him. Okay, now look. Once I layered the top of the little hat on the top of the mushroom, I can see that this little corner right here, I'm not happy with that because it's a little bit light for me. And so I'm simply going to take that little brush that I used with my forest moss, and I'm just going to keep kind of flicking that color on there. I want it lighter on that side, but not that light. Like that. Okay, now let's put his little hat back on. And then there we go. I'm much more happy with the way that that is layered together and how that looks now. Okay, now we've got our little pair of mushrooms here and their little tops. So let's do, this is kind of fun because you can like mix in all kinds of colors. Okay, for the base, this is the Lost Shadow ink. I'm just going to go to town here on that base layer. And primarily, I just want to make sure that the stems are really well covered. Okay. And then these little hats here, these little toppers. I need to quit calling them hats. I don't really know what they're called though. Let's do maybe Wild Honey. That's very fallish. Okay, so let's get Wild Honey. And I'm going to ink just a little bit. Ooh, these mats will stick to everything. Okay, So let's do, I'm thinking about this. Okay, I'm going to do this one and I'm going to flick this direction. And I don't have to worry about this one a whole lot because this one doesn't have the embossed detail on it. And so I can kind of leave it not as cute, so to speak. Okay, flick from this way. Come on. There we go. Okay, mushrooms. All done. All right, now I got to do like a mini cleanup session to clean up Hurricane Kelley, as Lisa calls me. Okay, so, and let's see here what I did with my tweezers. You guys tell me or show me a show of hands or something, a thumbs up or a yes me in the chat if you literally can be using your tweezers or your adhesive or whatever on your desk and then it just, you know, in 1 second it disappears. I don't know about you all, but, and I'm going to pop his little cap up. But I just had the tweezers in my hand and moved things out of the way for a split second, and then the tweezers were gone. Okay, so I popped up his little cap. Okay, putting him over here. Woo. Okay, and then this one, I think I'm going to glue this one flat because it's pretty skinny. All right, I'm looking. Okay, I see a lot of hands. Thank you, friends. I knew I couldn't be the only one. Lisa literally, so Lisa's over in the chat. I saw her. She calls me Hurricane Kelley, and I was crafting the other night, probably, and this is so adorable. I was crafting the other night, probably one of our little honeybee live streams. And I mean, it was a hot mess on my craft desk. And so normally I'm Hurricane Kelley. The other night I was crafting and I told him it was a Cat 5 Hurricane Kelley because whew, I know that Megan is probably in the chat and I know Mindy is over there. You tell me, especially during release times and we've got everything going on, there's a million things on your desk. Oh, mercy, my desk gets to be a mess. Okay, I think I want to pop this one up, but I think I need to give this little foam dot a little haircut just so I can kind of hide it a little bit. So I'm going to pop that there, and then I can gently peel back the top. And then we'll pop his little top up too. Look how stinking adorable those are. And normally I would go in with like my colored pencils. You can really kind of fancy up all these little die cuts. But okay, so let's remove the inky mess. There we go. I've got all my little die cuts, and then let's pull out my cardstock I have. So this is what I was mentioning earlier that we're going to make our card base and everything out of. So I've got this kind of fall mustardy yellow card base that's going to tie in with kind of look like little heads of wheat on my paper. Now it's harder to see because this is pattern paper, but I did use one of the fancy fall frames to cut this out. It gives a little embossed design. But then I have this layer that's going to tie in. And then I have this layer. See how we're getting the embossed detail here? And then I'm going to make a little resting place here. Let me go a little bit wider. I'm going to make a resting place here for my little wood vase and all of our cute little flowers. So let me find in Hurricane Kelley Aftermath my little score buddy and my bone folder here. And this is the fun part. I mean, inking is fun, but it's almost like when you get to see the fruits of all of your inking and, you know, brushing everything on, you know, the idea that's in your head, is it going to come together? Are we going to be able to make it all work out, what we had in our head? Okay, now this cardstock, my pattern paper, is going to go edge to edge. But when the recipient of the card opens it up, we're going to have that really pretty fall kind of mustard color. And I just love how all these colors kind of pair together. So I'm going to add this one, and you'll see I've been calling this farmer plaid. We've got a lot of like fall, outdoorsy, cozy, on the farm. You saw the quail and the farm card. I've been calling this farmer plaid from our paper pad. So it's just a really fun red and white. It looks like, you know, grandpa's plaid shirt or something like that. And then the other side that has the little, maybe time for another good, has the little flowers on it. I've been calling that like grandma's curtains, or it almost looks like Little House on the Prairie dress or something like that. Okay, let's see here. Are we going to cooperate? Yes. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to plop that down, and then I like to pick it up and kind of, you know, get everything lined up nicely. Make sure everything's going to stick down. Doesn't that look like Laura Ingalls' dress? Somebody said that on one of our live streams the other night, and I said, yes, it's perfect. Okay. Now for the next layers. I think I'm going to do my layers of paper here and just do them flat instead of adding dimension to my layers, because I know I'm going to have a lot of dimension with all my little florals and all that good stuff. Okay, I'm going to hold it up and just kind of eyeball it. And then I can press everything into place. Little House, yes, Little House on the Prairie. It does. It looks like Laura's dress. All we need is like her little braids and a little red ribbon or something. I don't know. So cute. Which is kind of fun, because that's really kind of the vibe we were going for, is just like that cozy farm fall look. Okay, now I've got all my little layers here. There we go. And I'm going to do my bouquet and all my goodies first, and then choose a sentiment, because you know what? I may have this big, beautiful bouquet, and I may want to put the sentiment on the inside. You never know. Okay. And I've got all my little goodies here. So I may do, and everything's going to nestle down in like so. Let's kind of make a little backdrop here, maybe with some of the green leaves. And I may give some haircuts to my little die cuts here. That way I can make them a little bit shorter and kind of tuck them in here and there. Okay. Another little wheat stalk. And I'm just kind of getting the lay of the land right now. Oh, that cute little pom-pom thing. I can kind of nestle them in. Oh my goodness. It's starting to look really cute. Okay, our little pink that C is going to tie in with that blushy color in our paper. And then our cotton. Okay. We're going to get serious here. There we go. go. We can nestle in. We can nestle that one in. So I'm just manipulating this with my fingers kind of as I go to make my little bouquet. Okay. So let's get this one. I'm going to kind of join this in back in here. And then I'll nestle in the little pink blossoms. Have some kind of pulled forward, have some pushed back. And then they're all mixed in like that. My little doggy that's over here crafting with me, she's dreaming. And you know, when they like kick their little legs and make little sounds and things, she's over here dreaming. And it's so funny. Makes you wonder, like, what are they dreaming about? We always say that they're chasing rabbits or something at my house. Okay, we've got the little cotton stem. We've got the wheat. Okay, I'm kind of liking how this is going. So I'm actually going to flip it over like so. And I'm just going to start doing dabs of liquid adhesive. I can hear her. Oh, hey, Brenda. Brenda's one of our friends that joins us on our live streams. And if you all that are joining us now, we'd love to have you come join us on our live streams. I go live on Monday, so I'll be live tonight on the Honeybee Stamps channel, and Wednesdays as well at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Yes. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to kind of zhuzh these around a little bit, and then I'm going to nestle this right down in here, I think. There we go. And I'm going to press. Okay, just like that. Hello, hello. Oh, what kind of pups do you have? I have the one that's dreaming is an Australian Shepherd, and I've got a little mutt, Penny, that's over here who doesn't leave my side. She, I have to kick her out when I do live streams because she's afraid of thunder. She's getting very bossy in her older age. And so I have to kick her out, and she's not very happy about it. But Penny, and then I've got a little Cavalier Poodle that is completely wild. So we have 3 puppies. We have a whole zoo at my house. Okay, so I'm going to quit yik-yakking. I'm going to flip over my cute little Lovely Layers mushrooms. It's time for new glue at my house. I'm going to pull this out and get there we go. And I'm going to kind of like overlap them like this. I'm taking what's left of my glue. It's time to open up a new. I'm going to take it and just use my fingers. And then the other one, I'm going to kind of overlap him. There we go. Okay, now I can choose a sentiment. Let's see here. All right. All right, so I've got this really pretty sentiment set. So to my, this is a hard part too. Okay, my favorite color is autumn. Enjoy the little things. Heartfelt hello. That's always a good, just simple one that I could use. Oh, autumn blessings would be good too. And this is what I like to do. I like to kind of take it out and see, I could die cut it and kind of nestle it right in here. Nestle it like right in here, maybe, and have it kind of stretch across. I think I'm going to use the Autumn Blessings. And I've got some scraps, a scrap of cardstock in here. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to do the, if I can find it here, walnut stain. So I'm going to stamp it in the really dark chocolatey ink. That little fall bouquet in that little wood vase, it almost looks like you've gone out and picked like wildflowers or something on a farm. Something like that. Okay. Now I've got that stamped there. Let me look at my time. Okay, we're doing good. And then because I used oxide ink to stamp that to kind of coordinate my colors, I am going to hit that with my heat tool just for a second. Okay, now I can take the coordinating dies. And let's see here. I've got to pick out the one, not that one, that has the letter A. Nope. There we go. All right. And some little highlighter or Easy C tape. I'm going to get right over the top of this little guy and tape him down. And then I'm going to pull out my little tiny die machine. Okay, so now I've got my cute little die cut, and then I think I'm going to pop that like right in there. So let me flip that over, and I like these little strips. They can kind of hide back in the back. And then I'm going to nestle it right in to the bouquet over, have all my little parts and pieces. There we go. And then I could always go back in with a little colored pencil and do a little tracing to add details. I'll do one of these little mushrooms so I can show you that it's easy. And I cheat and I use the embossed lines that are already pressed into the paper because there's no need to, you know, try to get fancy and recreate everything. But if you'll just, you know, give it a little trace with like a colored pencil or even a Copic marker if you wanted to do that, it really makes those little details and things pop on your die cuts. I'm sorry, I think I was rocking my camera. Let's see, let's get a darker one than that. And I'm going to get his little spots. But I like to go in, see how this here, how it made all those little embossed details just pop that much more than like these others, just by adding just a little bit of colored pencil in around the edges. And you can do that anywhere your little flowers and all your little things are embossed. And it just kind of makes it pop out. Okay, now let's see if anybody has any questions. Thank you guys for allowing me to craft with you today. The sentiment is the perfect, autumn blessings. It kind of mixes right in there. And I think, honestly, that this little fall bouquet, you really, with so many people doing farmhouse decor and things like that, you really could use these all year round, depending on how you wanted to shade them in or what color of colored cardstock that you wanted to use. And mushrooms are just cute all the time, I think. But that's kind of adorable. And you just mix it up, mix and match it. But super cute. All right, let's see if anybody has any questions about our Heartfelt Harvest Release. And I'm going to take a little sip of water here while I look at the comments. Thank you, Terry. It's getting there. We just moved a little over a month ago, and it's still in the works. My husband just hung my inks and things yesterday. So we're getting there. Hopefully by Crop and Create, we're going to be going strong here at the Kohout house. Okay, let's see here. All right, I don't think anybody has any questions. Okay, can't wait to get my order. Me too, Brenda. Okay, I want to remind you to go check out the Scrapbook and Cards Today blog, and you'll see all the different blog posts. You have until Sunday night to enter to win the giveaway. There we go. I said it correctly that time. And I've seen all kinds of wonderful blog posts, and I watched Gina's live, and I saw Taylor's live the other day. So you guys have just had a month of wonderful is all I can say about that. It's really cool. So thank you again to Catherine and Scrapbook and Cards Today and Megan for helping me out. Thank you for having us, and thank you for allowing Honeybee Stamps to be a partner. It was so fun. All right, you guys. I will talk to you guys soon. I'll see you over at Scrapbook and Cards Today on the Facebook page, and come hang out with us at the Honeybee Stamps Live. We'd love to see you. Bye, friends. Thanks for having me.